precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Cabinet reshuffle took place this morning and 7 ministerial portfolios changed. Vision FM education radio channel launched for the children of the country. The Prime Minister paid his well wishes to the SLBC for establishing such a channel for the betterment of the children. Marriage registrations allowed with limited participants. News overseas, Zambia's opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema declared winner. Local news in detail. A cabinet reshuffle took place today. Accordingly, 7 cabinet ministers took oaths before the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa this morning. Professor G.L. Pires took oaths as the new Foreign Minister, and the new Education Minister is Dinesh Gunawardena. Pavitra Vanyaraji took oaths as the new Transport Minister. Minister Kehiliya Rambukwala took oaths as the Minister of Health. Gamini Lokage is the new Minister of Power and Energy. Dallas Alahapiruma took oaths as the Minister of Media. Namal Rajapaksa took oaths as the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports and Development Monitoring. A full-time educational radio channel, Vision FM, for the children of the country commenced this morning. This program is implemented by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Mass Media and the support of Electronic Broadcasting Association of the Rupavahini Corporation. This channel will be broadcast through 102.1, 102.3 FM frequencies. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, conveying well wishes to this channel, said that SLBC receives the prime honour of establishing this channel, which has a supreme history of preparing programs for the welfare of the children of the country. He also stated that the national honour will be presented to the SLBC for the media role rendered on behalf of the children. Opportunities will also be made to improve the minds and knowledge of them at this juncture. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. Continuing with more stories here at home. The government has prohibited holding any wedding functions from midnight tomorrow irrespective of their venue. However, marriage registrations will be allowed with limited participants, Police Media spokesperson Senior DIG Ajit Rohan stated. Accordingly, only the bride and the groom, the parents of both parties, the marriage registrar and the witness will be allowed to the registration. In addition to weddings, all public events that amass crowds will not be allowed from today. Meanwhile, a daily quarantine curfew will be implemented in the country from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Only essential service workers will be allowed to travel during this period. Police Media spokesman said that Sri Lanka Police has launched special patrols and surveillance operations to monitor quarantine law violations. Meanwhile, COVID vaccination program is being conducted in 224 centres in the island. A large number of people from Panadura and Moratu area have arrived to obtain vaccines. More than 100,000 people have been vaccinated yesterday. Sri Lanka has received another consignment of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine this morning. A consignment of 100,000 doses of the vaccine arrived via a special flight today at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Meanwhile, the health sector has taken measures to provide vaccines to all pregnant mothers. A date and time can be allocated through MOH offices of the area. Doctors say that COVID cannot be controlled successfully by imposing curfew, lockdowns, and by imposing travel restrictions in the country. COVID can be prevented by stopping unnecessary travelling, non-functioning of parties, and gathering. It has been revealed that the massive protest campaign conducted by some groups have caused the increase of corona cases. At present, the COVID pandemic is spread all over the country. Travelling in overcrowded buses have also led to the increase of virus. The severity of the Delta variant has increased the complications. Most of the people are suffering from respiratory conditions. If anyone has cough and respiratory difficulties, they should sought treatment soon. There are a large number of infected people who have not obtained PCR tests in the society. That's on local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Specialist doctor of the Health Promotion Bureau, Asanta Balapitiya, says that if anyone is infected with the coronavirus while in quarantine at homes under the house quarantine system, are requested to separate from all members of the family. This measure can help to prevent the risk of infecting the virus to others. She made these remarks while participating at the program of the SLBC today.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On Watchlight, it has been reported that there is a shortage of vitamin C in many parts of the country. The reason for this is more people are compelled to take vitamin C with the risk of the corona pandemic. Some Osasala outlet has sold one tablet of vitamin C between 20 to 30 rupees. The doctors say that taking this tablet every day is a fruitless act. They pointed out that the vitamin C needed for the body could be obtained by foods. That's on Watchlight. Moving on to world news headlines. Zambia's opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema declared winner. Kabul falls to Taliban as president flees. Self-isolation ends for double-jabbed and under-18s. World news in detail. Zambia's Electoral Commission has confirmed that last week's presidential election was won by the opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. Hichilema defeated this main rival, the outgoing president Edgar Lungu, by more than 1 million votes. It was Mr. Hichilema's 6th attempt at winning the presidency. His supporters have been celebrating on the streets of the capital, Osaka. Earlier, Mr. Lungu alleged that the elections were not free and fair. He said election officials from his Patriotic Front party has been chased from polling stations, leaving votes unprotected. The Taliban has claimed a victory in Afghanistan after taking over the capital Kabul, bringing to a swift end almost 20 years of a US-led coalition's presence in the country. Fighters have seized the presidential palace. The government has collapsed, with President Ashraf Ghani fleeing. A spokesman for the group has told news network Al Jazeera the war is over. Kabul has descended into chaos, and residents and foreign nationals have been trying to escape. Finally, on world news, people in England and Northern Ireland who have had 2 COVID vaccine doses will no longer have to isolate if they come into contact with someone who has tested positive for the virus. Instead of having to quarantine for 10 days, they are now advised to take a PCR test, but this is not compulsory. The new guidance also applies to under 18s. The changes to self-isolation rules have already been implemented in Scotland and Wales. The relaxed rules in England and Northern Ireland are expected to significantly reduce the number of people being compelled to stay at home. That's on World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
In development news, Mahayangana public fair premises will be developed under the 100 Rural Towns Development Program. Several projects will be initiated on the guidance of Divisional Development Assistant Projects in the Uva province. Plans have also been made to construct holiday resort with rooms, seminar hall, and to construct 2-story buildings of the Mahayangana Pradeshya Sabha.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
On sports news, the 5th and 6th matches of the T20 invitational matches conducted by the SLC will be held at the Pallekele Stadium today. The first match is to be played between the red and the green teams. The red team has defeated 2 matches they participated so far. Kumuda Priyanka will create history as Sri Lanka's only female athlete for the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics, which will be held in the Japanese city from August 24th to the 5th of September. In addition, the 33-year-old athlete is the only second Sri Lankan women's competitor after Amara Indumati to represent the country in the history of Paralympics Games. And that's on sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Hemos Holdings PLC delivered yet another strong quarter amidst challenging operating environment conditions, with key businesses gaining momentum in all areas. All sectors witnessed a steady growth in comparison to the lower operating results in the base quarter, which was impacted by the island-wide lockdown in 2020. All key entities reached pre-COVID performance levels this quarter, said Group Chief Executive Officer Kasturi C. Wilson.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, Japan rebounded faster than expected from its pandemic-driven slump in the run-up to the Tokyo Olympics. Official figures show the world's third-largest economy grew at twice the rate forecast in April to June. But analysts have warned growth will be modest this quarter after a state of emergency was reimposed to ease a spike in COVID-19 infections.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers will occur at times in Sabaragamu province and in Kandy and Urali districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the Western province and in Gaul and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara and Batikla district after 2 p.m.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Back to the headlines. Cabinet reshuffle took place this morning and 7 ministerial portfolios change. Vision FM education radio channel launched for the children of the country. The Prime Minister paid his well wishes to the SLBC for establishing such a channel for the betterment of the children. Marriage registrations allowed with limited participants. News overseas, Zambia's opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema declared winner. And with that we conclude Bulletin of News.